What's good, guys? I'm Chad and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, we're going to cover the essential things that you need for an awesome home gym. So I think having a home gym is really resourceful. Times like this where we can't necessarily get out and go to the gym because all the gyms are fucking closed. Also, times where, hey, you may not be able to have enough time to drive there and back. You know, you just want to get a quick pump in or a quick workout. Maybe a kid's got a soccer game and then a basketball practice later, and you just want to have something right now that you can get a good workout in. So that's why I think it's a solid idea to load up on a few essential pieces of equipment, some things that are very versatile, other things that you're going to be able to load properly, especially if you've been a trained individual before. You know, this topic right here may be a little bit for a different video, but I do want to talk about, you know, trained individuals versus untrained individuals and seeing benefits and strength gains at home. Now, I'm not saying it's completely impossible to see strength and muscle gains while at home, but you have to consider the individual. So I think someone who is very well trained is going to have a lot harder time seeing progress at home because they don't have the load, they don't have the stimulus that they're actually getting on a normal basis within the gym. But someone who is untrained is going to be able to see results because whether they're just more consistent with their workouts or their overall load capacity is still low, and so they're going to be able to see adaptations even with just a minimal amount of weight. So, you know, for someone like myself who I get in here and I like to, you know, barbell lift and I can deadlift a decent amount of weight, I can't necessarily do that at home, so I may even see, you know, a little bit of detraining effect. But I think it's good to still have weights at home so you can limit this as much as possible. All right, so first let's cover some stuff that's going to make those tissues, muscles feel better. You've all probably heard of a foam roller before. These are used for just really bringing blood flow to the tissues. It can help with a little tightness. It can actually decrease, you know, the overall pain stimulus. It's going to help you move a little bit better. So there's some people that I think use these way too fucking often. There's also some people that don't use them at all. I personally am kind of in the middle. I like it to roll up my back a little bit before I get moving if I have some tight areas, but overall I probably use this maybe once or twice a month. Then we have here, this is a Supernova ball by Rogue. These are nice because they're really tough and hard. If you use something like a tennis ball, it's going to compress. You're not going to get that kind of hard tension that you would. So, you know, you can do things like, you know, roll out your feet, your calves, even get up into the smaller muscles of the back and the hip flexors. So these are really useful. This is hard. Like if I were to throw this thing on the floor, it wouldn't really move all that much. It's not going to bounce much. You can also get a lacrosse ball, baseball, golf ball. Those will all do the trick. But this is probably a little bit more on the expensive side. Not really sure how much this costs, but I will put it in the notes below. So we have one of these at Lift. It has some little ridges and ribs to it too. I don't know if they actually work. Don't quote me on it. I would say they probably don't work. So just get a firm, hard ball that you can roll out on. Hey guys, thanks so much for being here. Really quickly, if you guys are enjoying this video, please hit that like button, leave me a comment if you want, and then just hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, let's get back to the video. And then here we have just a standard foam roller. This is, I think, just a 10 or 12-inch foam roller. This is on Amazon Basics. I'll put this in the link as well. But these are just nice if you want to do any like T-spine rolling, like I said. This one specifically has actually, it's cheaper than some of the versions you're going to find on the internet. And this one has kept its kind of density and shape pretty well. So you're always looking for one that has a little bit of stiffness to it. If it's super givey, you're not going to really be able to feel that kind of rolling out stimulus. So we've had this for about a year. It's kept its shape. I would highly recommend these. Don't spend, you know, $50, $60 on the ribbed ones, shit like that. I think it's just a waste of money. So, all right. So here are the Power Block Pro Series. These go up to 50 pounds here. You can get them up to 90, even 135. I think the max is 175 pounds. But they go up in, as you can see right there, 5-pound increments all the way up to 50. These are obviously a little bit more expensive because they have this kind of black urethane coating. So now that you've seen the dumbbells really up close, just going to talk about how they function, and then show you just a little bit how easy it is to maneuver in and out. So first, these inserts here, they come in like 10-pound inserts, 12-pound inserts, 15-pound inserts. These are, in my opinion, better and worth the money because they don't have these little metal inserts. So if you look at the cheaper ones, the metal ones, they'll come with like these 2.5-pound slide-ins that you'll have to lock and unlock. These are just the standard 10-pounders, and then you just throw them in and you're ready to go. Also, these cling around a lot less. They're a lot less noisy. You'll notice with the cheaper ones, when they're just straight up metal, just coated in paint, they're gonna cling around a lot as you lift them. I personally like them being less noisy, especially here in lift when we have a bunch of clients going at one time. So let's show you how they work. So very simply, you just take this insert right here. Okay, it's a big plastic insert. You can choose your weight. Okay, for example, I'm going to choose 30 pounds here. Okay, so we're going to choose 30 pounds, and all you're going to do is legitimately just rip them straight out of here. Okay, you can do whatever. You can hit your bench. Okay, you can hit your row, whatever it may be. Okay, say I want to go from a row into a side raise. You're simply throw them back in. Now I'm going to do a 15-pound side raise. I put them to the top, and we're moving from exercise to exercise very quickly. So now you don't have to walk them back to the rack. You don't have to change up dumbbells. You don't have to have a bunch of fucking dumbbells laying all over. You can have just one set of dumbbells right here in your home, which I think is really beneficial. And these, you can find the 50-pounder ones. I think right now we're going for like $8.16, $8.19. Definitely worth the money if you are willing to. If you're on more of a budget, definitely look for the Bowflex adjustable dumbbells, or just the cheaper versions of the Power Blocks. I personally am a fan of the Power Blocks because I use them first, and I just think the compact nature of them is really nice. Also, one thing to note, and I'll put this on the video as well, I think, is when you actually grab the dumbbell with these more expensive ones, you're going to notice the hand space in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. The hand space is a lot more clear. The cheaper ones are going to be a little more thin. So if you're a big dude, you have large hands, it's going to feel a little bit claustrophobic when you're using those other dumbbells, the cheaper ones. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping for these. All right, so next, just a 2-inch PVC pipe. These things are really just versatile, beneficial. If you want to do any type of like lat mobilization, shoulder mobilization, PVC hinging. There's just a bunch of stuff that you can do with this. You can hook it to a band, you can curl it, you can do Y raises. So just a really cheap thing to have, other than your typical barbell, or what they call like a stretch stick or whip stick that you'd see golfers use. So this is just really cheap, really easy to have. Go to Home Depot, have them cut you one, whatever shape and size that you would like, and yeah. All right, so next on the list, we just have these very basic mini bands. You may see these in like PT offices or chiropractic offices, maybe CrossFit, or maybe your gyms and trainers have them. These are beneficial because they're versatile to work, small muscles in the hips and shoulders, things like glute bridges, abductions, shuffles, even hip flexion. So you can choose, a different resistance based on the color. Usually they come in like a pack of 5 or 6. I personally like the Perform Better ones just because I think that not plastic, Jesus, Mary Joseph, they tend to not rip as much. So Perform Better's my favorite, it's my go-to. We also have Spry, which have been pretty reliable. You can also get into things of like shoulder prehab. You can get into some rows with them, be really creative, but I do have a different set of bands that are gonna be much better for some larger upper body mobility stuff. Or not mobility, strength. So now you can find these bands on Amazon for anywhere from like $16 to say even $45 at times. I will say, as you get into the cheaper brands, some of them are okay, but you will notice the ability for these to actually be elastic and come back to shape is going to be worse in the cheaper brands. So really, I would aim anywhere from like that $30 range to that $45 range. Spend your money wisely, take care of them, and they're going to last you a really long time. And so next on our list here is these big super bands. The super bands are typically like 3 feet in length, 2.5 feet in length. But these are going to come in like another pack of 5. These are just really versatile for larger compound movements. So things like a banded row, RDL, even if you want to wrap it around you and do like a leg movement, whether it's a reverse lunge or a split squat. You can also do banded push-ups, squatting, Really, the world and the exercise world is your oyster with just a set of these. So these are probably, in my opinion, more important than the mini bands, but I would definitely just suggest getting both of them. You can find these are going to run a little bit more expensive. I've seen decent bands of this run from like, you know, 99 to 115. You can also find a cheaper version, or you can find individual bands if you don't need the full set, which a lot of people won't need the largest one. I actually have one back there. It's probably like 3 inches, 4 inches thick. You won't need that. So you can even get, you know, I would definitely suggest for the average fitness goer, just the orange and the red one are really beneficial for a lot of the stuff. If you're a strong individual, go ahead and get the blue. And then, you know, if you really want to, you can do things like shrugs, or if you have strong legs, definitely get this green one. Is about 1 inch thick. So these are really the only 4 that I would suggest for a home gym, for a typical, just kind of average gym goer. You're not trying to break records in powerlifting or anything like that. These are your standard kind of go-to. All right, next up we have just these easy furniture sliders. We found these on Amazon for I think like $12 or $13, and they come in like a pack of 6. Again, I'll cue these up in the link below. But these are, I think these are called super sliders. Very, very easy. They're they're not that durable when I just snap one. But yeah, these are great. What the fuck am I doing? Jesus Christ. They're very. All right, guys. After I just basically, I think I did crack it. But yeah, so super sliders, you can find them for like a pack of 6 on either Walmart's website or Amazon, and I'll cue them up in the link below. But they're very, very cheap. Don't spend more money than you need to on fitness equipment. A lot of these fitness companies are trying to just up the price because they call themselves fitness companies. There's other things within the world that we can use that are good for our workouts and for our fitness. These things are really versatile for things like reverse lunges, hamstring curls on the floor, an advanced progression to some push-ups, even some walking stuff. So definitely get a pair of these, especially if you are a beginner. These are great for adding a little bit of stability and increasing the difficulty of the exercise. So that's why I like to use these for, you know, newer clients. Also, for advanced clients, these can be good to make advanced progressions to very simple exercises, such as, like I said before, the push-up or ab rollout, or even adding a little bit more tension to that main leg of a lunge. So definitely grab yourself a pair of these, if not 2, if you have someone at home with you. All right, our next piece of equipment here is just a regular TRX strap, or some type of what we call suspension trainer. So these are really nice because there's a lot of different exercises that you can do off of them. They're also good if you are a decently strong individual for some heavier row options. You can walk yourself down into an inverted row and perform those that way. They're also nice. I personally like them for a lot of shoulder stuff, whether it's T's or Y's. But again, if you were to go on like TRX's website, you'd be able to see like this whole library of exercises that they can give you. They probably have full-on workouts that you can do too. These specific ones I think run around like $175 brand new. You know, I personally think that they're a little bit overpriced because they were the first people that, you know, patented this technology. There are some other companies out there that you're going to get a little bit cheaper, again, cheaper of a product and overall material, but the price is going to be cheaper as well. So take a look at your options. If you want to order some on Amazon and you have that Prime and you can return them, I would suggest getting a cheaper option first, see if they work for you. But these are really, really durable. We've had these. I personally like kind of like the rugged look, not the big yellow ones. These are the original color they came out with. So take a look. If you want them, you can get them. But I would definitely suggest TRX straps or some type of suspension trainer, whether it's the rings or a different brand, in your home gym. All right, guys, so one of the last things that I would definitely invest in is some type of bench. Don't use your couch, don't use your floor. If you have to and you don't have the amount of space available for a bench, sure, go ahead and use your floor, or, you know, make adjustments for presses of like push-ups. But a bench is really useful for really any type of press or rowing motion. You can also use it to put your foot up on for Bulgarian split squats. You can use it as box squat. There's a lot of stuff that you can do. And I personally, I don't know about you, but as I'm working out, I don't want to be putting my foot and stuff and my ass onto my couch where I'm going to be sitting later. So invest in some type of bench, or, you know, jerry rig one yourself. That'd be sick and badass. But very standard flat bench from Rogue. This is an adjustable one, but the very standard flat one is going to be about $185 on their website. You could obviously find one for a lot cheaper. No, you just need to know that those kind of off-brand companies are going to make them a little bit less quality. The biggest thing that I think you need is a very sturdy bench, especially if you're a strong person and you're pushing a decent amount of weight. You don't want that bench moving around and being unstable. If you really have the budget, I would definitely suggest getting an adjustable bench. This is an incline. This has about 5 settings, and you can bring it all the way up to even that shoulder press there, and then that the butt plate or the seat right there is adjustable too with 2 different settings. So take a look at that and you guys make your decision. But this one, the adjustable one that I have here, this one is a fucking tank. It's a beast, it's heavy, it's not gonna move from under you. That runs about $545. So say you want just the power block dumbbells and one of those, and that's what you wanna spend your money on, by all means that may ring you up for about $1,300, $1,400. If you want everything that I've kind of touched on here, that's going to probably grand total gets you up to close to $1,600, but you can really get a solid gym, home gym for even just over $1,000. I think probably the most important thing to have are those dumbbells, because they're so versatile, and especially as you start to get stronger, you need to increase load, you need to increase the progression so that you can continue to build upon that. If you don't have other load and you're just relying on bands, there's going to be, what I would just think about as there's only so much potential you can have with a set of bands and at-home body weight, right? Yes, you can do chin-ups and load yourself up with chin-ups, but I think those dumbbell weights are definitely the most important thing out of this entire video. So if you guys have questions for me, again, I will put the links down below, but I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you joining me as I fumble around with my words and around the weight room. If you guys have questions, drop them below. And until next time, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. See you guys.